Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Lexa Peterson, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Sergeant Jeanette McNeely. We warmly welcome the family of Gunner Leslie Thomas Tanner, whose story will be told shortly. We warmly welcome the 50th anniversary reunion delegation from Army Officer Cadet School, Portsea, Victoria, and Miss Pauline Gribble, representing the Naval Association of Australia. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed at the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record that they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Gunner Leslie Thomas Tanner. Leslie Tanner was born in North Sydney on the 5th of June 1922, the fourth of 6 children born to timber carter Bertie Tanner and his wife Florence. He attended North Sydney Intermediate School and grew to be an accomplished sportsman. In 1936, aged 13, Leslie dived into the sea fully clothed to rescue a boy who was drowning. For this action, he was awarded a bronze medal and certificate from the Royal Shipwreck Relief and Humane Society. At the outbreak of the Second World War, Leslie was 17 years old. He enlisted in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force on the 12th of April 1940, pushing his age up by 18 months and claiming that he was an apprentice butcher. He had already served nearly a year with the militia, and an enlistment was assigned to the 2nd 6th Field Regiment with the rank of gunner. 3 of Leslie's siblings also enlisted: Bert in June, John in July, and younger sister Mavis once she was old enough. Leslie went into camp at Ingleburn. The 2nd 6th Field Regiment was an artillery regiment formed as part of the 7th Division. Leslie was allotted to the 11th Battery. Nearly a quarter of the new unit had experience in the militia, and the average age of the men was just over 26. Whilst at Ingleburn, Leslie was found absent without leave for 18 hours. He was confined to barracks for 6 days and docked a day's pay as punishment. In September, the 2nd 6th Field Regiment moved to Bathurst, and in mid-November 1940, Leslie and his fellow recruits embarked for overseas service. Leslie served in Palestine and Egypt, fighting against the Vichy French. His role was gun layer, responsible for the aiming of artillery guns against targets. When Japan entered the war in December 1941, the Australian government requested the return of the 6th and 7th Division from the Middle East. In February 1942, the 2nd 6th embarked for Australia, arriving in Adelaide in March. The men spent a short period of time at Woodside Camp before the regiment moved to Casino, New South Wales, and then to Caboolture in Queensland in April and May to take up defensive positions along the coast in case of Japanese invasion. During this period, Tanner was thrice in trouble for minor offences, being absent without leave and once for displaying conduct to the prejudice of good order and military discipline. He fractured a left metacarpal bone on his left hand. It was a significant injury which put him on the sick list for 7 weeks. Back with his unit in September 1942, as fighting on the Kokoda Trail intensified, the regiment was sent to New Guinea with the 25th Infantry Brigade. It defended against an advance on Port Moresby until February 1943, and then moved to Dobodura. The regiment's main role was to support troops mopping up isolated pockets of Japanese troops left in the area following the counter-offensive along the Kokoda Track and in the aftermath of the Battle of Bunagona. From April to September, the regiment detached several elements to support American troops as part of the Salamua-Lae campaign. After November, the regiment concentrated around Finschhaven, supporting operations during the Huon Peninsula campaign. General Officer Commanding New Guinea Force, Lieutenant General Sir Leslie Moorhead, visited the men on the 4th of December at Finschhaven. During his visit, a 25-pounder artillery shell fired exploded prematurely at the muzzle, causing a number of casualties. Gunner John Francis Ryan was killed instantly, and 3 other gunners were seriously wounded. Amongst them was Gunner Leslie Tanner. He had sustained serious abdomen, leg and hand wounds. Taken immediately to the dressing station, Leslie's wounds were so extensive that he passed a short time later. Leslie Tanner was 21 years old. He was buried next the day near Scarlet Beach in the Finschhaven area. After the war, Leslie's remains were exhumed and he was laid to rest at the Lae War Cemetery. Today, he rests there underneath the inscription his family chose for his headstone. His duty nobly done, ever remembered. Leslie's name is listed on the roll of honour on my left amongst more than 40,000 Australians who died whilst serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Gunner Leslie Thomas Tanner, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.